What's up, gamers? This is Proto, and welcome to another episode of Like or Dislike, where we look at some of the latest games to come out, tell you what we think about after getting our hands on it, do our famous pros and cons, and while showing you some of the gameplay all at the same time. And today we are looking at Gears 5. Now, I'm a big fan of this series, and I definitely have been looking forward to this game coming out. So I'll definitely try to keep my fanboy side down and give you guys a realistic view of this game. So, in Gears 5, we continue the story from Gears 4. Kate is searching for answers about the past, her mother, and her grandmother. Now, this is a third-person cover shooter type of game that is normally strictly a linear game, but in this install of the series, they mix it with open-world elements. They actually work out very well, if you ask me. There was a good balance between linear and open world. A lot of people get worried about games when they go from one style and do a whole nother one. But this one, like I said, it was a good balance of it. Now, you don't have to do all the side missions, but they will reward you with items that will help you throughout the game if you choose to do them. You travel the world with Dale and a newer version of Jack that you can upgrade yourself. This version of Jack has modes that you can upgrade to help you in a firefight. You can find the materials in the world you need for doing the upgrades, and they're actually not that hard to find once you figure out and find out the patterns of where they usually are. You'll usually spot them without you even trying now. Now, you travel this world as Kate with mainly Dale and Jack, but other characters from the series pop in from time to time and help you as well. Now, if you played the previous games, you will catch on to what they're talking about and when they bring up certain things. But if you don't worry about it. You won't be missing that much. Now, they bring back a few weapons from the previous series and some brand new weapons that work extremely well. They had actually a Lancer in this one with a grenade launcher, and instead of launching like traditional grenades that shoot out like in a tube, it actually launches out a volley of rockets, and that started to be one of my favorite ones, especially when I had to deal with heavy enemies. Now, you can still only carry 2 weapons on your back, but now you can stow weapons on the vehicle that you use to get around in the world, which definitely comes in handy. If there's a certain weapon you like to always have with you, you can just switch out for it and just put it back when you're not going to use it. So I definitely thought that was a good thing to do. Now, the campaign itself was really good. It took me roughly about 12 to 13 hours, so on average it'll probably take anybody probably about 15 hours, give or take, because even just playing it on a regular level, you will die a lot. So but the story of the games was mainly told by Marcus, and they did a very good transition, moving it to the newer generations of Gears playing the roles and really having the members of Delta Team playing in supporting roles. So that was really good. I really started to have a concern for these newer Gears and more worried about how they see the world, how they want to do things. So it was very good in my opinion. Sometimes that's harder when you've had a certain character or a certain group of characters in a series of games and you have always known them to really push the game, and then they introduce new characters, so you're like, who is this? But like I said, they did very good with the transition of it. Now, with that being said, you have the multiplayer side, which has 3 main modes: Versus, the new escape mode, and the fan favorite Horde Mode. Versus is your multiplayer maps and modes like Team Deathmatch, King of the Hill, and so on. You play as either humans or locusts, and you have ranked games for a challenge too if you like to play ranked games. Now, the new escape mode has you being captured to set off bombs within a hive, and you have to get out as quick as possible. Now, I played a couple matches of it, and it's not bad. As you put it on a more difficult level, it does get very challenging, and you get rewarded based on how quickly you can get out, your kills, how fast you react to things. So if you want something that's really good and quick matches, I recommend that. Now, the fan favorite Horde Mode is back and even more challenging, and just playing that again, I end up spending a lot more time playing Horde Mode than any other modes, because I just remember how much fun it is setting up defenses, holding the lines, taking down waves of enemies, and just remind me of how much I love playing the Horde Mode. So definitely expect to see some gameplay of Horde Mode being played on this channel. Now, you can set up custom modes and maps in Versus mode, or look for particular type ones if you don't want to play them in a random selection play. I thought that was kind of odd that you couldn't select that particular one, but like in the quick play, you're just playing a random selection, they just randomly choose ones. Like I said, you can actually choose that particular one if you go to a custom match, but the only bad thing about that is if you're choosing a custom match, you're choosing a custom match that somebody set up, so it might be under parameters that you don't want to play. But you can set up your own one, which isn't that hard, but keep that in mind. Now you have a bunch of skins and other items that you can grind for in this game, but you also have microtransactions. So don't be afraid of seeing that, because as soon as you get into the multiplayer side, you start looking at different skins you want to get, different emblems, all that type of stuff. There's a microtransaction option that uses real money. So as far as I've seen, these microtransactions don't affect the gameplay whatsoever. It's just purely skins and cosmetics, which in my opinion is not a bad thing. If it's purely just skins and cosmetics, I'm fine with it. But I know how certain people feel about microtransactions, so just be careful with that. Graphic wise, the game is beyond beautiful. I love how the cutscenes blend right into the game. Usually the cutscenes are more detailed and of a different resolution, but here they are the same, and that keeps you immersed in the world, which is great. Because I know we've all played several games where we get to a cutscene and the cutscene is so detailed and looks so beautiful. Then you go back to the gameplay and you wish, like, why wasn't the rest of the game like that? And for some people, that can make them break the immersive of the world. So like I said, I thought that was a really good thing that the cutscene stayed the same level as the game. So it's like, honestly, when the cutscene ended, sometimes I didn't know I was going back to the game, and then sometimes I didn't know the cutscene started. So I really like that. Now all this gameplay that you guys are seeing was captured from an Xbox One X, and that's pretty much the game. So with that being said, let's take a look at the pros versus the cons. And start off with the pros. The first one we're going to look at is the gameplay is good and challenging. Regardless if you're playing a campaign or you're playing a bunch of different modes, it's fun. Just matches that you can get in, have fun playing a campaign. You can play with friends and just enjoy yourself. And if you want a challenge, you can rank it up and push it up and make it harder for yourself. So definitely a good thing. The second pro we're going to mention is different modes to play. And like I said, you have different modes for every type of gamer, and that's what I like about this. It really isn't just like these sets of modes. If you want to play Horde Mode and just fight wave after wave, you can do that. If you want to play team deathmatch, that's all you want to play, you can do that. If you want to set up your own custom matches, you want to set up your own maps, you got that. I really like how they're giving you a lot of different options, so depending on the type of way you play, they got you covered. And then the last one, we're going to talk about the story, how in my opinion it was very great. I'm a big campaign person, big story person, so the fact that this campaign, it carried on with the story, really didn't drop the ball honestly. You know, like I said, it made me start caring about these characters. It did very good character development. It made me start getting to know these characters more, their concerns, how they see the world, how they want to change things. So I thought that was very good. So with the pros done, let's take a look at the cons. The first con we're going to look at is the controls. Sometimes the controls were a little sluggy and just hard to get used to, and that might be mainly because I haven't played since Gears of 4. But sometimes it was like it was sticky trying to get in and out of cover. But I think once you get used to the controls, or you set them up and change them around, you'll find what works out best for you. Now the next con we're going to look at is the matchmaking was kind of buggy, and I saw this in the multiplayer side a lot. Especially playing in verse mode, not as much as playing in escape and horde mode, but I had times where I would just be locked out of the game and couldn't play. Sometimes where literally I could not play the game. It's saying I'm offline, but I'm online, and my Xbox is hardwired and my internet's up, because my internet was down. I would know. So, but I know they've been working on it since they did the early access, and they'll probably get that smoothed out soon. And the last con we're going to look at is the microtransactions. Like I said, everybody feels different about the microtransactions, so just be forewarned. Like I said, majority of it I see is just purely skins. It doesn't like it's going to be anything that gives you an advantage in the game. So in my opinion, I have no problem with that. But that's pretty much the end of the game. Well, the end of the review, sorry. But I definitely like the game. It's definitely going to be a game I will be able to enjoy. Put it into my series of different games to play and be grinding for. But let me know how you guys feel. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. Let me know you guys enjoy videos like this. I'll work on doing more reviews. If there's a certain game that you want me to review, let me know. And if I can pick up a copy, I'll do a review for you guys. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We talk about stuff going on in the gaming and tech world. Do reviews on some of the latest games and tech this out. Do top 10 new games coming out every month and so much more. Make sure to follow our social media pages so you can keep up to date what's going on, or if you don't, reach out to me. I love talking about gaming, so don't be afraid to hit me up. Catch me streaming on Twitch, playing a bunch of different games, playing indie, console, PC games. Make sure to follow and make sure to chat. Ain't no problem, talk to me. I'll talk to you about almost anything going on while I'm playing games. But this is Proto, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.